Have you guys seen that Tens clip where he's talking about low elo being way harder than Radiant?
Am I actually like at gold or some shit? Everything just doesn't make sense, and I'm getting shit on every game because of it. I literally, if I play in like plat level, I will never top frag. I'll always be like middle to bottom.
People bring this up all the time as an excuse for why they can't rank up. See, even Tens thinks low elo is impossible. Now, I'd hate to be the bearer of bad news here, but you guys know Tens is half joking here, right? Or, well, joking might be the wrong word. It's just context is really important. I know I'm gonna get some pushback on this, like how could I contradict our King Tens, but just bear with me. The lobby that Tens is saying this in has 2 Radiants in it. This was played at the start of an act reset, so he's playing in around Ascendant elo. Sort of, his MMR hasn't really reset. To you and me, this isn't low elo, obviously. But when you're Tens, he thinks this is what plat must feel like. Now, here's a clip of Tens from 2 years ago where he's actually smurfing in plat while playing with Kaide.
Oh my god, no. Diamonds?
Diamonds?
What the fuck? I told you!
This is what I've been doing the entire game.
Okay, let's see it, Ty.
Guy. Oh, 35%.
You're so mean.
One more pillar, I think.
In sight. One enemy remaining.
Got him.
Like, yeah, low elo players do a lot of stupid things, of course. They will definitely catch you off guard at first, but the things that they do are considered stupid because the plays they make are bad. The reality is most players in low elo have the same exact bad habits. They walk through smokes, they hide in corners, and they bait their teammates. If Tens were actually to try to climb out of low elo, it wouldn't be hard at all. It's easy because low elo players are predictable. And if you're stuck in low elo, don't take this the wrong way, because watching this video is going to be your first step to getting out. This is the first of 7 low elo mistakes that you're still making every single game, and once we fix them, you are going to skyrocket in rank. Low elo players are either just walking through smokes for no reason or hiding in corners across the map. All you have to do to counter this is remember to hold smokes and clear every angle, and it's free kills. It's not like low elo players have good aim either, so if you just slow it down, it's really actually hard to lose. This actually brings us to mistake number 2 though, which is you're just a massive doomer. You think low elo is insane. You think that you'll never have good aim. You get one tapped once and suddenly you think that you're getting one tapped in every single fight. We're constantly giving players advice like swing off of your teammates or communicate with your teammates, and you're the type of person to say, well, my teammates never listen. Trust me when I say I get it. I get that your teammates don't listen because my teammates don't listen either. Your teammates will never listen. It doesn't matter what rank you get to, it literally does not ever get better. The other day in an Immortal lobby, I asked on round 1 for my Neon to combo her stun with my Raze nade, and I got told, too much talk, not enough play. This guy's throwing caveman speak at me in Immortal. That doesn't mean that you need to stop trying to do these things though. It's the negative experiences that we remember, but more often than not, it will work out fine. You've got to get out of your head. Half of this game is just about confidence, and if you don't have the confidence to be a good teammate, you're going to lose. You don't need your teammate to listen for you to swing when they take contact. Just look at what they're doing and try to mirror their movements. And if you're popping a surrender vote when you're down 2-3, maybe you do deserve to lose. At the end of the day, try to remember that you're playing a video game. It's supposed to be fun. If someone is calling a strat, try to play along with it. Don't shoot it down just because you feel like it won't work and then not offer up an idea of your own. There are so many people in this game that are just complete doomers. They think that the game is literally impossible to get good at. I'm not kidding when I say I've met people who genuinely believe that every high elo player is cheating. They literally think that pro Valorant is just a hierarchy of cheaters. Like, I can't even imagine why you would bother playing a game at that point, if you genuinely believe the only way to get good is to cheat. I'm not a pro myself, but trust me when I say every god tier player that you look up to was once just like you. They picked up the game, tried to learn it, and probably sucked at first. I heard pro player Automatic mention in an interview recently that he used to queue up all day and bottom frag in lobbies the entire day, but he didn't care because he just wanted to get better at the game.
When I was like 9 and I got a headshot, that felt so amazing to me. And I wasn't getting many. Like, I was horrible when I was 9. I was always like bottom of the scoreboard, like 2 and 40. And it's like, but those 2 kills felt really good. And that's kind of how I feel right now in Valorant.
If I'm being honest, I relate to that because I am the same way a lot of the times. I queue up, bottom frag, and then I go next because it's all about the process. Don't be a doomer, just strive to get better with every game. And if you're bottom fragging in these matches, keep in mind it's probably because you're playing in a higher elo lobby than you're used to. But you're there for a reason. The game thinks that you could rank up. Mistake number 3 though is simple. Your aim just sucks. Now, I know this one really isn't your fault, like you're trying your best. Or are you? Now, I know that some of you watching this video haven't touched deathmatch yet at all this act. Why is that? Every aim-related video out there tells you that you should play deathmatch or use aim trainers. If you're not doing either, what are you doing? Listen, you can queue matches over and over and over again, but the reality is most of the time in a normal match, you're just holding angles or retaking. You ever have those games where you're in a 1v5 retake every game? Like, did you really get any practice on your aim there? Be honest. Deathmatches might feel like a waste of time for some of you though. Like, what am I really learning getting one-tapped by a bunch of immortal players constantly? The truth is, they're incredibly helpful though. Maybe even one of the best ways to improve at the game if you know what you should be practicing. That's why we cover literally everything that you need to know about getting godlike aim in our new hour-long masterclass over at SkillCapped. It's designed to teach you everything that you need to know about getting godlike aim in Valorant, including breakdowns of crosshair placement, movement mechanics, recoil control, and even covering your positioning. Godlike aim is definitely achievable and will not only teach you how to get it, but will teach you how to be consistent with it. You'll learn exactly what it is that makes a consistent aimer so that you can climb the ranks non-stop. Listen guys, the honest truth is, while there is a lot of strategy in Valorant, it's still an FPS game. This game isn't built for brainiacs like you and me, it's built for aimers. So if you're gonna play it, you might as well learn to aim. Check it out using the link in the description for a discount, and other than that, let's get into our 4th mistake. Have you ever caught yourself frustrated because it feels like you're the only one on the map with a plan? You're peeking corners and checking angles, but your team, they might as well be playing a different game. This is classic low elo Valorant. Everyone is in their own world. The biggest issue with this, baiting teammates, probably without even realizing it. Think about it. You're on defense, chilling at C on Lotus, and your buddy decides to peek Mound. They get picked off, and there's no one to trade. That's a round that just got way more difficult, all because you weren't there to back them up. Maybe you thought that you were just going to anchor sight, but your teammate wanted to take a duel, and you saw him do it. Every time a teammate falls without a trade, it's a step back for your team. Fixing this just starts with awareness. It's like when you're walking into a crowded place, you're not just looking out for yourself, but also making sure that you don't lose your friends. When you're in game, keep an eye out on your buddies. If they're about to peek an angle, be ready to support them. Valorant is a team game. It's not just about solo plays or highlight reels. It's about moving as a unit, supporting each other, and capitalizing on every advantage. Keep this in mind, and you'll not only become a better teammate, but you will also climb ranks much faster. Now for mistake number 5, I actually remembered that this was a thing pretty recently when I was playing with some friends. A lot of low elo players are still ADSing like all of the time. It's a habit that's hard to shake, but here's why you've got to try. It slows you down, messes with your spray, and squishes your field of view. It's just not ideal in most situations. Now, there are a handful of players that will still ADS at really long ranges, but for the most part, it's not super necessary to learn until you're much more experienced with the game. Take a look at the pros if you don't believe me. Their fights are almost all just hip fire. Your aim might not be on their level yet, but try to make sure that the way that you take duels looks convincing. Even if you end up whiffing anyway, you should still try to look like a high elo player when you move and shoot. It's tough at first, sure, but you'll get used to it eventually. Once you get used to moving and shooting, suddenly you're not just playing the game, you're outplaying. And that's the goal, right? To get better and win more and maybe, just maybe, climb out of low elo hell. Now, I'm going to be honest, for mistake number 6, it's actually a personal gripe of mine that I have recently. I've noticed a trend that I think is tripping you up more than you realize, which is jumping to conclusions in your games. Everyone seems to be so confident when they're saying random stuff. You think the enemy is smurfing, that they're fast on the rotate, or that they're camping a site just waiting for you. These guesses are literally just a shot in the dark half the time, and most of the time they're also wrong. Here's the deal. If you have a read, that is part of the game, but try to base the read off of something logical. If you lost a round because you felt like they were stacking a site, try to think to yourself, is there a reason there were 5 people there? They might not be stacking sites, maybe your push was just extremely slow. It only takes 12 seconds to rotate from one site to another normally. Were they all 5 on site, or did they just flood when they got there? When you think like this, it actually opens the door up a lot. They're not stacking sites, but it does seem like they rotated really fast. This could be because you made noise too early, or because they pushed through on the other side of the map and they didn't see you. Maybe if you have a lurker somewhere or try to sell a fake, it could work really well. Other assumptions that players might make would be things like he has an operator, so he's definitely going to be playing A. Like sure, maybe A is a good place to op, but every map has numerous angles where the operator can be strong. He could be A, he could also be B or mid. It's good to have a read that the enemy is going to have an operator, but use that read to make smart decisions. Jump peek angles and use your utility to force that operator back. Don't just assume that he's A so that you can go all gung-ho on B. My least favorite assumption doesn't even have to do with the actual game itself, but it's assuming that a player is smurfing or cheating. Like, maybe they are, maybe they aren't, but it doesn't really change anything. I can't tell you how many times I've had teammates in a mortal elo literally complain about an enemy smurfing. Like, honestly, who cares? And half the time the guy that they say is smurfing is just dry swinging angles and taking ego fights the whole game. Like, those are objectively bad plays. Just go double swing the guy and sit him down. These players encounter someone with decent aim and psych themselves out so much that they can't even fight them anymore. Do you think pro teams are cowering when they have to play against 10s because he has good aim? No, of course not. They're going to just swing him together and trade him out. The truth is, you're going to encounter players who have better aim than you very frequently. When you do, try not to fight them alone. Just group up with a teammate and trade them out, or use utility to force them off with angles. If you just give up after assuming a player is smurfing, you're going to lose, and half the time you're probably wrong and they were just having a good game. Finally, the last mistake that I see is I see a lot of low elo players switching agents literally every game. They say they have a main, but really that main only shows up at about 30% of their games. Here's the thing. Playing a bunch of different agents doesn't really help. You end up kind of okay at everything, but not really good at anything. Ranked is about hitting your peak, and you can't do that if you're spread too thin. Imagine, your duelist play is top notch, but your support play, not so much. Valorant is all about getting really familiar with just a few agents and not just shopping around. My advice would be pick one agent per map and stick to one role. Like if you're a beast with Viper on Breeze, maybe go Omen on another map. It keeps you focused, but still flexible depending on the map. This is a strategy about honing your skills where it counts and not just boxing you in. So next time you're hovering a new agent in the select screen for whatever reason, think twice. If every time you play on Breeze, you're picking a different agent, yeah, it makes sense that you would suck on Breeze. Keeping it consistent could be your ticket to ranking up. Alright though guys, before we wrap this up, let me tell you a little bit more about SkillCapped. So we offer a 5-division rank up guarantee, and we think that's a pretty crazy thing to offer. It's like your gym membership guaranteeing that you'll get ripped. Your local gym would go bust if they offered you that. Not us though, we've offered this for years because our service really does work. It works so well in fact that we are able to produce by far the largest catalog of premium Valorant guides on the internet. We add new courses every month. With over 1,000 guides curated into over 50 courses, no one can compare. We also have a direct line of communication with subscribers in our Discord so that you can get connected immediately to some of the best players in the game who will respond to all questions asked. Sign up today for as little as $6.99 a month if you are serious about improving. So that's going to be all for this one today. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.